Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. It's your boy Shifty coming at you with another one. So today we're going to do my three most anticipated games for the 49ers for the upcoming 2022 season. I'm telling you, this was not easy. The Niners have a lot of big time games. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right in. For my third most anticipated game, I'm going to be choosing Week 7 when the 49ers will be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I think it's fairly obvious why this game is going to be on the list. Of course, we are going to want revenge. We're going to want payback for losing in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago in fairly heartbreaking fashion. Now, not only that game, but the time before that when we played Kansas City was another game that wasn't so good for us. And the reason why is that was the game that Jimmy Garoppolo unfortunately tore his ACL week 3 of the 2018 season. So I think every 49er fan, every 49er player that was on the team then, that's still on the team now, every 49er coach has essentially circled this week and being like, this is our time to get some payback. I would love nothing more than to just absolutely beat down on the Chiefs, to just blow them out of the water, to have a game reminiscent of when we played the Browns in 2019 or the Panthers in 2019, just to embarrass them. Now, that's very unlikely because, hey, look, they still have Patrick Mahomes. They added a lot of talent in the offseason, even though they traded away Tyreek Hill. They also, in my opinion, had a very, very solid draft and free agency period. So this should not only be a great game in terms of what I'd like to see us get some payback, but just the competitiveness of this game should be amazing to watch. Two really great teams just going at it. I think this is going to be a really fun one to watch. Personally, I really can't wait to stream this game. That's why it's going to be my number 3 most anticipated game for the 2022 season. Coming in for my second most anticipated game for the upcoming season is going to be Week 4 Monday Night Football at Levi Stadium, where we host the LA Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. Now, the only reason why they are the defending Super Bowl champions is because they got to the Super Bowl by beating us in the NFC Championship game. Now, last season was really bitter rivalry. We're talking old school 49ers Rams. It was awesome. Of course, we took 2 out of 3 against the Rams last year. Earlier in the season, we beat them on Sunday Night Football and we just beat down on the Rams. Week 18, of course, we had the big overtime win. Ambry Thomas, that was the birth of the butt counts. And then, unfortunately, NFC Championship game, we lost. So not only is this a payback game for last season losing in the NFC Championship game, but this is a rivalry. And look, Shanahan has been involved with the 49ers for decades now, going back to the 90s. And this is a rivalry that just goes back decades and decades and decades. Whether the Rams were in St. Louis or LA, this is just one of those relatively iconic rivalries in football. It would mean a lot. It's our first nationally televised game of the season at home, and I think it's really one that the 49ers will want to come away, because here's the thing, after that game, if it's on Monday Night Football, we're going to have to travel to the East Coast for back-to-back road games, and I believe heading into this game, the 49ers will be 2-1, so we have an opening game against the Bears, then we play the Seahawks, and then we play at Denver, so I think heading into this game, we'll probably be 2-1. Now, if we lose to the Rams 2-2, that doesn't look so good. But if we can come out with a big win, maybe stamp our authority on the division, if we can be 3-1 coming out of that game, I think we're in a great position moving forward. But this is a game that's just going to have big-time implications. Of course, both the Rams and the 49ers absolutely have playoff aspirations, and a game like this could ultimately decide how the division goes when it's all said and done. Before I announce my most anticipated game for the 2022 season for the Niners, let's talk about some games that are honorable mentions. Now, these are some other games that, of course, I'm very excited for. Well, let's be honest, I'm excited for every single game, but here's the thing. These are the games that almost made my list and games that I really had to think about. So, Week 3 at Denver. We're going to face a familiar foe in Russell Wilson, this time with the Denver Broncos. It's our first primetime game of the season, Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a hell of a game. Then, Week 10, we face and we host the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert and that explosive offense. Their defense looks to be really good with Joey Bosa. They added Khalil Mack. They have Derwin James, so they have superstars on defense. The week after that, we play the Cardinals in Mexico City. Who doesn't want to see 49er fans just filling up Stadium Azteca? It's going to be great. Can't wait for that one. Also, primetime matchup. Then week 13, we host the Miami Dolphins, and we welcome back Mike McDaniel, Raheem Mostert, Trent Sherfield, to name a few. The week after that, we host one of the most famous 49er fans of all time, and that's got to be Tom Brady. Now, here's the thing. It's actually going to be only his second game playing against the 49ers in the 49ers stadium. The last time was 2016 when he was with the Patriots, but let's be real, the 49ers had Chip Kelly. That team was an absolute disaster that year, so this will be his first time coming back to face a very competitive 49ers team. Both of these teams look to be maybe aiming for that number 1, number 2, number 3 seed in the NFC, so that should be a fantastic game. Can't wait for that. But now let's get into my most anticipated game for the upcoming season. Coming in at number 1 on my list of most anticipated games, and I think you all probably know what it's going to be. It's going to be January 1st, New Year's Day, at the Las Vegas Raiders. I cannot wait for this game. I can't wait to stream this game. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be so much fun. So why is this the most anticipated game? Well, some very obvious reasons. Of course, the 49ers and the Raiders essentially shared the Bay Area fandom for decades. The Raiders also played in LA, so you have that California, connection right there. But not only that, essentially, and living here in Northern California, living in San Francisco, but Northern California as a whole, you either have 49er fans or you have Raider fans. So these are always the games that are incredibly anticipated. You have households up against each other, friends against each other with who likes the Raiders, who likes the Niners. It's always a really good time. And here's why it's extra special this year. Because look, get to go to Las Vegas, just the Sin City. The ticket prices for this game are already in like the $500-$600 range, which is wild. But here's the thing too. This is a game where both teams, and we're talking week 17, second last game of the regular season, both teams figure to be well within the playoff hunt. So not only is this a rivalry matchup that just really spans decades, but it's a game that could have major playoff implications. Of course, Raiders, AFC West, that division looks to arguably be the most competitive division in football. Niners, NFC West, still a very, very competitive division with the Rams, with the Cardinals. Who knows really how the Seahawks will look, but maybe they surprise some people. And, we're seeing it. It's going to be just so fantastic. The atmosphere, New Year's Day, the huge game, a lot of riding on this game. I think it's going to be possibly one for the ages. Both offenses should be explosive. Defenses have stars on both sides of the ball. And factor this in, the Raiders really added a lot of players this offseason. You add Devontae Adams, who's arguably maybe one of the best receivers in football. I think it's fair to say that. Then you add Chandler Jones, who's been one of the superior pass rushers of the league the last 5 years. You pair him with Max Crosby. This is going to be a fantastic game, and I just really can't wait to see how it goes. Hopefully the fans keep it clean in the stands, although I already know there's most likely going to be fights breaking out. But hopefully we can keep it as clean as possible off the field and also on the field. Hopefully we have a great game. And of course, it ends with a 49ers victory. So that is my list of the 3 most anticipated games of the 2022 season. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on my list. I'd also love to hear some of the games that you're most excited for and why you're excited for those games. And I'm going to leave it right there for the video. But guys, I'm going to say 2 things. The butt counts. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side.